The movie begins showing the Fairbairn family who have shifted to an old house in America. Rose was the head of the family and owner of the house. Actually, the house belonged to Rose's father. Rose came here with her 4 children for a training. The children's names are Jack, Billy, Jane, and Sam. They decides that they will no longer use the surname Fairbairn, and they shall now use Marrowbone. They did it so that no one could recognize them. They come here to hide because they are afraid of something. As days pass, they are trying to settle there. The neighborhood where they live is not very populated, and they don't even socialize much with anyone. One day, the 4 siblings goes to visit a local place called Red Witch Rock. There they meet a girl named Allie who lives on a nearby farm. They all have a lot of fun, and Allie becomes their very close friend in one day. The next scene shows Rose lying in bed wondering what will happen to her children if she dies. Because Rose feels that she will not live much longer due to illness, and maybe she is going to die very soon. Besides, the house is still not in her name. Even Rose's eldest son Jack is not yet 21, and her youngest son Sam is only 5 years old, which is why it is not possible to put the house in their name. Rose thinks that if she dies, her children won't be able to live together. They will be separated, maybe sent to an orphanage or sent to their father, which no one wants. Rose makes a plan when the kids get home. She tells her eldest son Jack that if she dies, Jack have to keep the news of Rose's death a secret until he is 21. Rose also asks to hide her body in the garden of the house so that no one will find out, and tells Jack to watch over his siblings. She hands Jack a box which she had kept to herself for a long time and says, "You might find this useful." Then she makes Jack promise that Jack will do everything as she asks to do him. Then Rose died, and they buried her body in the garden of the house. Then their new life begins. Household responsibilities are shared by all the siblings. But as Sam is younger, it is very difficult for him to handle these things. His elder sister Jane had to watch over him so that he wouldn't tell anyone anything which may reveal their secret. They are waiting for their brother Jack to turn 21 and take their responsibilities as their legal guardian. They think it will solve all their problems. Day by day, it is becoming very difficult for them to handle everything. But when danger comes, it comes from all around. The same happened to them. Everything was going well, but suddenly one day Jane sees a man outside her house who fires a bullet through the house's window. Jane gets very scared and calls Jack. The scene cuts here. The next scene shifts to 6 months later and shows the 4 siblings having a hard time. Jane makes cakes for a shop and earns some money in return. The rest of the expenses are covered by the savings left by Rose. Jack goes to town every week to buy essentials. In this scene, it is also revealed that Allie is still with Jack. They love each other, and whenever Jack goes out to buy essentials, he meets Allie, who is now working in a library as a librarian. While visiting Allie at the library, Jack meets a local business agent named Tom Porter. He reminds Jack that the house transfer charges have not been paid yet. So he will go to Jack's house tomorrow to obtain Rose's signature and collect $200 to complete the house transfer. This scares Jack so much that he quickly goes home and tells Billy and Jane about everything. Hearing this, they become also worried because neither Rose is alive nor they have $200. Now they only have $50 left from Rose's savings. Even if Jane takes an order of 100 cakes in a day, still earning $200 will be very difficult for them. Then they decide that Jane will copy Rose's signature, and they will open the box which Rose gave them before she died to collect the money. After opening the box, they realize that all the money actually belongs to their father. They didn't want to use it at first, but then they are forced to use the money after seeing no other option. They don't want to use their father's money because their father Simon is not a good man. He was a big thief. Robbing people was his profession, and now he is in jail. Jack and his siblings thinks these are actually black money, and even touching these can cause a curse on them. That's why Rose didn't use these either, just kept these for their bad times. However, they get a lot of money in the box which can solve all their problems. Then they decorate the house well so that Tom doesn't get suspicious and thinks that there is really no problem in this house. Jane sits up all night trying to copy Rose's signature, but her hands keep shaking. The next day Tom comes and he is angry with Jack because Tom asked for a check but Jack gave him cash. Moreover, they are not dollars but pounds. But Jack says it is not possible to exchange money from pounds to dollars in one day. And according to the calculation, 100 pounds is more than $200. So after paying the transfer charges, there will be some money left which Tom can keep for himself. This way Jack convinces Tom. Then Jack says that Rose doesn't feel comfortable coming in front of Tom. So Tom gives the forms to Jack and Jack quickly takes them to Jane to sign. But they have to face a problem here too because there are two forms. If one of them has an exact copy of the sign, it will be very difficult to copy the other exactly. But they have to take the risk. Jane first copies the signature with a pencil and then signs with a pen. This whole process takes a lot of time, which makes Tom suspicious. So he starts coming up the stairs. He was about to open the door when Jack appears with the form. Jack is very nervous because even the slightest mistake could get them caught. But this time they had better luck, that's why Tom doesn't notice anything, so he gives the certificate to Jack and leaves. That night they were very happy, but then something strange happens. There was a big mirror next to the stairs which they covered with a cloth. But suddenly the cloth falls from the mirror and some strange sounds are heard from the attic. It makes them think that the house is haunted. Jane claims their ghost has returned because they used the cursed money. Next day, Billy climbs to the roof and drops the money box down the chimney of their house so that no one could use the money. In the next scene, Jack pretends to go to the store and goes to meet Ellie. They both spend time together. Later, when he returns home, Billy fights with him because Jack is not a responsible brother. He's just going out hanging out with Ellie and enjoying the outside world. Jack is also angered by Billy's behavior and the two begin to fight. Meanwhile, Sam goes to his mother's room and after looking at the mirror, he screams loudly. The next scene shows Jack lying unconscious on the floor. In this scene, they realize that the ghost is none other than the man whom Jane saw shooting at the window of the house 6 months ago. The man is actually their father Simon, who has escaped from prison and came here to take his money back. Maybe they killed their father and hid his body in the attic. They also sealed the attic door. Now Jane suspects that maybe they didn't bury Simon's body properly, so now his spirit is haunting them. In the next scene, Tom shows Allie several paper cuttings that contain a lot of news about Simon. He was not only a thief but also a murderer. Killing people was his profession. He was so dangerous that in England he was known as the Beast of Bampton. He didn't spare his family either. Even he molested his own daughter Jane, because of which Jane hated him a lot. On the other hand, the company where Tom works offers him to become their 10% shareholder. But for this, he has to pay $5,000. Just then, Tom suddenly notices that there is a pencil mark under Rose's signature. Seeing this, Tom realizes everything and starts blackmailing Jack. He tells Jack that he knows everything about Simon's money, and if Jack doesn't give him the money, he will tell everyone that they are not the Marrowbones but the Fairbairn family. If everyone knows this, it will be very difficult for them to stay there. But they don't have that money now because Billy threw the money box in the attic. They have no choice but to take the box from there. So Billy makes a plan and enters in the attic with a rope. Inside the attic, he saw many bones. After searching for a while, he finds the box there. Just as he tries to get out with the box, a man attacks him from behind. The man was like a skeleton. Billy somehow gets out of there, but he is injured a lot. On the other hand, Jack gets another blackout. After Jack regains consciousness, he realizes that his father Simon is still alive. Jack is horrified to see Billy's extensive abdominal injuries and collapses again. Seeing Jack's condition, Jane decides that she will tell Allie everything because now maybe Allie is the only one who can help her. Next day, Allie finds a diary of Jack. The actual reality is hidden in the diary. In fact, 6 months ago, Simon escaped from prison and moved to Marrowbone House. Realizing this, as Jack promised his mother that he would take care of his siblings, so he kept Billy, Jane, and Sam in the attic for their safety. Hoping to make his father go away, he went to give Simon's money box back to him, where Simon badly beat him and tried to kill him. As a result, Jack faints and lies there. Simon then went home to find his 3 remaining children and brutally murdered them. After regaining consciousness, Jack rushed back to the house and finds his siblings dead. He locked Simon in that attic and tried to commit suicide due to the grief of losing his siblings. He couldn't commit suicide even after many attempts. But since then, he has developed multi-personality disorder in his brain. Jack begins imagining that Jane, Billy, and Sam are still living with him in the house. Allie rushes to Marrowbone House after learning all the truth and finds Jack talking to himself. At that moment, Tom also arrives there. He hears some noises from the attic and goes there. But after entering into the attic, Simon kills him badly. Allie also hears the same noise, and when she gets there, Simon attacks her too. But Jack arrives and saves Allie by killing Simon. But Jack still had multi-personality disorder in his brain. Now the question is, who did Jack's family run away from, and what was going on in the movie for so long? In reality, they moved from England to America to escape from Simon, because already it has been shown that Simon is a murderous criminal. He wasn't just there for his money, but he wanted to kill his children because they gave statements against Simon in court. Simon was almost successful in his plan, as he had already killed Billie Jane and Sam, leaving only Jack alive. Jack was broken by his sibling's death, and to get rid of it, he set multiple personality disorder in his mind. So no one left the house except Jack. When Tom came home to get the money and Rose's signature, only Jack was there. He always kept the mirrors covered, so he never felt like he is alone in the house. Besides, Jack fainted when Sam was scared by the ghost. Jack again fainted when Billy was attacked. Because in reality, only Jack was alive, who was also playing the personalities of Sam and Billy. In the end, Jack decides to shift into Jane's personality to tell Allie everything, otherwise Jack would not have survived. Because he was badly trapped in his own illusion, and only Allie could get Jack out of there. Actually, there was no ghost in the movie. The ghost story was created because Sam was very young and Sam's personality could not be understood at all. So Jack created the ghost story himself by going into Sam's personality. Also, the ghost that Sam's personality was afraid of was actually Jack's reflection. As Jack sees Sam's personality within himself, Sam is scared to see Jack's large reflection as his own personality in the mirror. The next scene shows 12 weeks have passed since the incident, and Allie is now staying at Jack's house with him. She takes care of Jack and takes him to the doctor for treatment. But Ellie doesn't let Jack take the medicine that the doctor gave him because Jack is happy with his siblings' personality, and maybe Jack will be better off that way. Jack still thinks his siblings are with him. Allie gifts Jack a photograph with his siblings. And this psychological thriller movie ends here. If you enjoy the video, please subscribe to our channel for more interesting movies like this.